folks, and welcome to this week's Skippy track guide at Gilles Villeneuve, otherwise known as Montreal. Now, this is actually the second guide I've done around here. The first one I did, I think, was my second ever track guide, and we've tweaked the layout since then, put it that way. So I'm going to do this one again for you guys. I'll put the link in the description to that video. It is a completely different layout to this, as I say, but technically it was a quicker lap time. I'm guessing temperature and track conditions were slightly more better in that race, to put it that way. So to get on that, track temperature on this one is 69 to 70 Fahrenheit. It was ticking over there, and the lap time we're showing you today is a 1:54.123, which is quite cool that it goes 1:23. These ones I did actually hit the Wall of Champions, which is the wall sort of over there anyway. Yeah, be very careful. This is one of the trickiest chicanes. I mean, we've just come from Zolder as well, and they've got a few tricky chicanes, but this one has a wall right on exit, which is brilliant. You take too much of the second curve, one-way ticket straight into the wall. Right, I am waffling. Setup will be in the description as always. Otherwise, let's get rid of that and we will crack on with it. Right, coming across the line then, we actually have a car on our right hand side, and luckily he lifts off, which is really handy because it gives us the racing line. And we are looking for the patch of grass just on the right hand side here, and braking kind of as a car length coming up to it, braking in a straight line down in second gear. As we get into third/second, we start turning in. Now avoid this massive pothole on the very inside. You see we hit it, get a really nasty bump from the Skippy, and it's not really handy. Down in the first gear, we're trying to stay left to open up the second part here. The second part is more important than the corner entrance there. And basically staying tight to the curb and trying to get on full throttle as early as possible without lifting off the throttle again. Changing up into second now, using all of the track. Don't worry about running a little bit on this curb. It's okay to be out there, but ultimately we're trying to minimize track distance at the same time. So I normally cut this little curve in the straight there, just sort of head directly to the 2 board. Again, Skippy accelerates quicker in a straight line, so let's keep it like that. And our braking point for this is the 1 board. So we're in 4th gear. And as soon as the 1 board arrives, we are braking at it, maybe a little bit before it, down into second gear. And again, this is much like turn 1, so avoid the very inner curb. It's really quite nasty. And then as we're coming off that curb, we change into third, and we're having a little cheeky cut. We're sticking the tyre on the old green grass, and basically we want to minimize sliding. If we're sliding through that second part of that chicane, we're going to be hitting this wall. Maximize traction, that's why I go into third, makes it a lot easier. Approaching what iRacing is calling turn 5 at the minute, so this first little kink here, we cut it to maximize this long sweeping right-hander. Try and get to the inside, minimize angle on the steering wheel, while also minimizing track distance. Keeping the top end speed of the Skippy is going to be real key around here, and getting out these slow corners as good as possible. Spotting for the braking point, it's this concrete wall on the right hand side, just as we're passing it with the rear of the car. Standing on the brakes, straight line braking but diagonal across this track, using the extra bit of tarmac. Down into first, and again avoid the very inner curb, not very good. Car gets unsettled. Changing into second at the apex to try and maximize our exit traction. And I'm kind of debating whether to miss this curb at the minute. I've been finding that the inside rear tyre is spinning, and that's obviously losing the straight line speed, but then again it is cutting the corner, so I'm thinking it's 6 2/3 to be honest. Use all the curb on the outside, and then we are straight lining it to the 3rd chicane I think we're on now. A lot of chicanes around here. Going to be a good overtaking opportunity through here. It's a relatively long straight, probably the 2nd longest straight on the track, maybe 3rd, maybe the start finish straight is a little bit longer. But all I do is bring the car slowly over to the right hand side. Again, the inside of this long curve is going to be the shortest, trying to ease the Skippy into a nice top speed. The braking point is already, you can see it, it's the bridge or advertising or whatever it is. And it's kind of, I've been braking after I've been under the bridge. I'm going to highlight it now. The whole bridge gets highlighted because that's a whole braking point. You can brake now, but I've been leaving it just that little half a second longer just to get that little bit more speed out of the Skippy. Changing down to second, we are nicking a little bit of this inside curb, and we are nicking a lot of the second curb. You can change into third now. I seem to change after it's 6 and 2 3s again. Sometimes you get better traction if you change into third, less wheel spin, things like that. Use all the curb on exit again, but be careful, there is a wall there. It's quite an easy corner to come out of. It does open up for us, unlike some of the other corners that seem to be tightening up on exit, which is a real pain. Again, going to be a good overtaking opportunity down here into the hairpin of turn 10. It is the most important corner on the track because it leads to the longest straight. The car does what it does down a straight. We cannot affect its speed and acceleration, but we can affect the corner exit speed. So this is the one you really want to focus on. There is a lovely big runoff area straight on down here, so if someone dive bombs you, make sure to use it. Braking point is about 150, so I've highlighted the 1 and 2. I'm braking about halfway between them. Again, straight line, heavy braking zone. Don't lock up the front tyres, going to cause issues. Bleed off the braking as we're turning in down into first gear. And I do apex a little bit too early, so you want to lay late apex, sort of mid to late, to get a straight line on exit as much as we can. You see, we do have to run quite wide to keep the steering angle off, to keep the acceleration up high. Use this little bit of extra track that kind of weaves out and then narrows in. I don't know why this grass is here, to be honest. In my eyes, just concrete it, get rid of it, be a lot easier. And this is going to be the longest straight for a while. Apart from Monza and Imola, I think they've got longer straights. This is obviously going to be a massive slipstream fest. And Spa, maybe Spa got a long straight as well. Anyway, it's a pretty long straight. I'm waffling again. Just be careful. Keep your line, keep you nice and straight. Don't do any weaving all over the track or anything stupid like that. There's going to be loads of chances to get overtaken down here. If you do get overtaken, don't worry about it. It's going to be a long race, relatively decent lap time here. I think we're looking at 10 or 12 laps, I think. So you're going to get him back at some point. Yeah, basically that little kink down there, we're trying to minimize steering angle again, keeping the car as straight as possible, maximizing straight line speed. Quite a misty day. I don't know what time of day this was. It looks like 8:53 on the replay, so quite early morning. And this is the point where we can start seeing the brake boards. Starts off at 5, and we are braking at the 2 board. I do highlight it when it pops up, just so we can see what we're doing. But basically, really tricky chicane this because of the wall on the exit. So there's a 2 board. Braking in a straight line, second or third gear. Haven't really found much different between them. Later on, when the tyres were warm, fuel was light, I was taking third, but this time I'm taking second. Little bit of the first curb, not too much, and then a lot more on the second curb. Changing to third, sort of between the 2 corners, slash on the second curb. And we're using this little bit of extra track. Again, don't want to use too much. It's the Wall of Champions. It will catch a lot of people out. Might be worth, even if there's someone in front of you as well, just give them that extra half a second space. We don't want to be pushing people through there, because if they crash into that wall, they're directly on the racing line and we will hit them straight after. It's going to be a kind of a track of survival. There's a lot of walls around here, and particularly the first chicane, so turns 3 and 4. Definitely the ground disappears away from you slightly, so definitely people spinning out. But that is us across the line with a 1:54.123, and it wasn't as quick as the first track guide, but this layout is a lot more different and highlights things a little bit more easier. So I will leave a link for that in the description below if you want to go have a gander at that. As always, the full speed chase cam is following, and then the cockpit cam. So let me know how your lap times are doing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers guys, bye bye.